Hello everybody and welcome back. My name is Winback, and on today's episode, to finalize the week, we're playing Chromie on Warhead Junction, and I can't think of a better way. Well, I can, but this character's kind of busted right now, so we'll do what we do. It's a YouTube video after all, and this is the last video of the week, number 4, and I'll be back next week when the time comes, but let's focus on the gnome dragon, Chronormu herself. That's her actual name, if you can believe that. This is way cooler than Chromie. But team comps today are going to be Abathur, Deathwing, Zul'jin, Chromie, May versus Varian, Medivh, KTZ, Nazeebo, and Kira. A lot of fight going on over this top side watchtower, which is important. I will give you that. But I've seen a lot more people split up and go for the bottom side watchtower. So big damage on the Kira and the KTZ, to be honest with you. He gonna make it? Nope. He's gonna get blasted with some sand directly in his skeleton ass. And that, as a mage, is what Chromie is all about. Not the ass blasting, but she's an artillery mage. She's going to do so much damage from so far away that it really just is insane that this is possible. Now, our Q ability, well, let's talk about our trait first, because you're going to see our trait much more often and much earlier than everything else, because Chromie's trait is called Time Walker. Chromie has revealed, or traveled to the future. She's revealing with her level 1 talent. Anyway, off track. Getting back to the point, she's going to get talents two levels earlier than everyone else on her team and the enemy team. So we get talents at 1, we get talents at 2, we get talents at 5, we get talents at 11. No, wait. I'm just counting 2 up from... I'm an idiot. I'm a little bit tired. My apologies. So we're going to get them at 1 and 2, which is the weird ones, because 2 is right after 1, and math is hard. We're going to get them at 5. We're going to get them at level 8, because that's 2 shorter than 10. Going to get them at 11, and then 14 and 18. Goddamn. You would think I'd be a little bit more prepared coming into this, but I don't play Chromie, so I guess that's my own fault. But that is her entire trait. The other part that you are going to see our D key take over here, it's called Detonate Time Trap, and it leads into the second part of your E ability, which used to be much more difficult to land than it currently is. So your E Time Trap, you're going to be able to place these time traps down, and they're just going to sit there invisible. They're completely unseeable unless they get hit with AoE damage, but they do have to arm. So once they're armed and they're invisible, if someone walks on top of that, whether they are a hero or an enemy hero, we can hit that D button to detonate the trap, putting whatever is trapped into stasis. And I don't think I need to tell you, but that's a pretty good setup, considering, you know, it's kind of like a miniature void prison. If you manage to hit both an enemy and a friendly hero, they're going to get trapped in there together, and potentially things could go really bad or really good for whoever you've trapped. So Chromie is pretty decision-making heavy. She's got a lot of potential to make huge plays, and she's also got a lot of potential to fuck shit up really hard. So getting good at this character is all... Oh my god, I missed. I didn't miss that time. Is really all about making the best decisions possible for your team. How did she get over there? Anyway, yeah, if someone else could channel this, I have a nuke, and I cannot currently do anything with that button, unless I get rid of the nuke mid, and I don't really feel comfortable doing that. So our W ability, moving backwards on the chart, we've got Dragon's Breath. This is it's a skill shot ability. You're going to vector target it, and what that means is that you are going to click when you press the button where your mouse is. You are then going to pick a direction in which to have the ability travel. So right there you saw the ability travel in the direction of the minions. That's how I decided it would go. So we're going to hit W where we are and then drag in a direction to choose where it's going to go. That's all vector targeting is. It's a really fancy name, really cool sounding name for point and drag. But Dragon's Breath itself does a pretty significant amount of damage, but it's also halfway telegraphed as to where it is going to go. So if you see a Chromie throw a W at you and you only have one direction to run, it's pretty safe to assume all the W's are going to continue on that route. So if you just double back real quick, let them do their thing, you can dodge them. Or if you just step to the sides. Sometimes you're going to have trouble figuring out where that is because the first one is never really easy to tell, but the second time it hits, you should be able to figure out the trajectory and which way that you need to dodge. I cannot believe I just got this entire fort for free. I'm not trying to create split push Chromie, but it's apparently a thing I'm allowed to do. So, whatever. Now, our Q, probably the easiest part of our entire kit, is going to be our Sandblast. After 0.5 seconds, bear in mind there's a wind up on everything that Chromie does. But Sandblast is going to fire a straight line missile, and then once that missile's launched, we are going to drop a clone, which is also going to fire a missile the next time that we hit our Q button. Little sand clone, you can see it right there. It's pretty neat. So, deals 50% damage to structures, and that is really important because if Chromie could just pelt buildings from as far range as she has, she'd have to be removed from the game. So, casting Sandblast is also going to leave an echo behind, dealing 40% damage. So not only are they just going to throw Qs, but they're also going to do auto attacks. So if you're auto attacking near a sand clone, and an enemy is also near the sand clone, it will auto attack what you were auto attacking, which is pretty cool. It didn't used to do that, and you used to have to unlock the sand clone by hitting multiple Qs. So, kind of, that was a thing that was old Chromie, but now new OP Chromie has very much the ability to make that more engaging, which is nice. Now, is this going to happen? Is this going to happen the way that I want it to happen? Nope, sure isn't. Anyway, on to the ults. For Chromie, we've got two. Both of them are very good in their situations, but more often than not, you're going to be picking Slowing Sands these days, because Slowing Sands has been adjusted to slow people much, much faster than it used to, and this ability is just going to sit there until you decide to turn it off or you run out of mana, which is really fucking difficult because it only costs 3 mana per second. So you saw me taking the camp earlier with it, but basically you just put the Slowing Sands down, and the longer the people... He forgot that you have to actually click it. We're going to slow him down a little bit. We're going to slap him with the Dragon's Breath and blast him with some sand and remind him what that level 1 death was all about. I mean, really. Big dragon guy's going to hit his fear, get the Medivh just away, and I'm not going to be able to kill him, which is so upsetting. Bavarian's going to die, so I guess that's just as good. But Chromie's other ultimate is going to be Temporal Loop. Temporal Loop is more of a pick ultimate, and it's the more niche of the two these days, because what it's going to do is drag a character back into a position. I believe it's 2 seconds? 3 seconds later. So think Tracer Rewind, except you are the one who is deciding where they are going to come back to. I was really hoping my team would hit the people inside the Slowing Sands, but here we are. Yeah. So that combo is kind of something I picked up from watching the CCL as of late. Hosty, with Team Simplicity, actually has been doing this really, really consistently on this character. He's probably one of the best players on Chromie, period. But what he'll do is he will hit he'll detonate a time trap and then put the Slowing Sands onto the character stuck in the time trap. Now, I didn't take the right talent at level 4 to make the best use of this, but if my team, just kind of forces the people in the slowing sands to remain in the slowing sands, they will die. Unfortunately, my team isn't very good at that, so I'm just going to eat a whole bunch of damage from that final strike, and then people are going to blink in and out and die. Here we are. Chromie's portrait, I just noticed it. It's only the top of her head. The little things. It's the little things. But we need to talk about the build, because, it's been quite a while since we've done anything with that. But Time Walker's Pursuit, we're going to gain 15% spell power and reduce the arming time of time traps by 0.75 seconds. Activate to reveal the target area with our 1 key for 4 seconds. So, seeing people, always really good. Having vision of things, it's pretty cool. 15% flat spell power, oh my god, that's insane. They took it away from Nazebo after collecting 100 stacks, and that, we're going to give it to Chromie, though? Broken. And then, on top of that, reducing the arming time of our time traps. What is it? It's a second. It's 2 seconds. They take 2 full seconds to arm. We're dropping that to 1.25, which means that our time traps are now very much usable to save people on top of just trapping others. So, since it's an AoE ability, since you can kind of put it down on a decent cooldown, and the arming time is really just insignificant. Oh my god. Look at that. Look at that. I'm saving you. I'm saving you. Please leave. Okay. People in Quick Match don't really understand what peel is, but that's okay. That's totally okay. I want to put my nuke somewhere, but I'm kind of scared to put it anywhere because I have to go onto the enemy team's side of the map, and they're not really showing anywhere, so I would just fucking get destroyed. My assumption is if I walk up all by my tiny gnome dragon self. Now, our level 4 talent is called Time Troubles. What I should have taken is Chronic Conditions for the slow, because the slow of that 30%, just sidestepping out of my mind, the 30% slow from the time trap would be able to synchronize with the slow from our slowing sands, which would actually keep people inside the slowing sands long enough so that the slowing sands big slow can take over. It would likely end up being anywhere from 40 to 70% of a slow if we had taken that talent. Sadly, what we took instead is also good. This is more kind of a preference for whatever you're doing, but Time Trap is going to give friendly people hit by our traps 20 armor, and is going to reduce the armor of enemies hit by our time traps. So, really, really good if our team is focusing on the character who is getting hit by the time trap, but also very good at keeping them alive if we need to give them some armor or save them from a pyroblast or any number of things that might just come rocketing at their face. So, just as good a defensive tool as it is an offensive tool. Chronic Conditions is also going to do the same thing. So it's going to slow enemies, but it's going to give friendlies move speed. So it's really, really good. You can see the ultimate siege ability of Slowing Sands right now. It's just so ridiculously busted if you can put it in a place where enemies have to spend a lot of time walking. It's nasty. Now, our 7 talent, I'm picking up Mobius Loop here because Mobius Loop is going to give my W ability, which is typically my easiest ability to land, 30% extra damage, and on top of that, enemy heroes hit in the center are going to be slowed by 60%, and that is going to be 0.75 seconds. So, it's not a full slow, it's not a full second long slow, but the increased damage that you're getting and holding people in place with the ability, I'm going to die here, aren't I? That's my time trap, trying to stop the enemy team from doing dumb garbage, but it turns out Medivh isn't very good at using. I'm gonna get hit with that everything, huh? Okay, at least we got the boss. I'm a little bit spooked right now. It's like Zul'jin is popping his unkillable, and we are going to kill off literally everyone that came to fight. The 2 people who didn't show up obviously weren't part of those kills, but you know. Okay, Am I going to get killed here by a chain? I'm not. I'm not. I'm actually going to aggressively advance on the KT because I want to kill him and show him who is the mage this game. At least the top of my head of the mage, you know. So our, just having that additional CC and burst damage on your W from level 7, super good, super important, really couples well with the slowing sands on top of that. So as long as we are landing the W correctly on the people trapped in the slow pit, on the hourglasses, we could potentially be just sealing them into the slowing sands, which is really good. It's a little bit early on my queue there, sadly, but whatever. One of the things you'll learn when you're playing this character is that there's a feel to lining up your abilities on a character trapped in a time trap, so it takes a little bit of getting used to, but eventually once you do, and you start playing this character more often, you'll be like, yeah, that guy's dead. Now, our 13 talent is called Timeout. 60-second cooldown this is, but this is the longest ice block in the game, giving us 5 whole seconds of invincibility. Trying to slow him down, wasn't aiming correctly. I needed to drop the W directly on him, and turns out he was immediately clicking away after being hit by the time trap because that is the correct thing to do, and I'm just bad at aiming. So, would have been really cool if I knew what I was doing, but this is a learning video. You're welcome. We can learn lessons together. The 16 talent is called Fast Forward. If Chromie's primary Sandblast travels at least 50% of its base distance and hits a hero, its cooldown's reduced to 0.5 seconds, and we're going to get mana back. So, that means that if we manage to hit someone with our Q from even a decent distance, we are actually going to reduce the cooldown drastically and just start blasting people with them. I hit my 1 key, not my 1 key, my 2 key, my perfect timeout, my amazing ice block key, and it didn't work. So, server are we on? Not gonna tell me. Too far in the past. Okay. Just. Ooh. I hear so many audio cues going off. I see so much damage just careening at my face at the speed of light. And I'm like, I hit that button. And then the internet has something completely different to say. Maybe it's my keyboard. Maybe it's my fingers. Maybe it's my brain. But who knows? I feel like I pushed that button and I didn't get it. So I'm a little upset, but with the amount of the enemy team's ass that we've just been handing to them this entire game, I guess I could be okay with dying once or twice, you know? Whew. At 16, you do kind of have a lot of options to just go with what you feel, though. Honestly, Shifting Sands is going to give you even more spell power on top of the 15% that you're just getting passively from your level 1. Or you could take Quantum Overdrive, which is again doing the same thing. You just hit another activatable key for 30% for 8 seconds, which is fucking insane. It's not even a 16 talent BTW, this is a 14 talent. Okay, there's another unkillable. He's going to get trapped in time. My time trap's not contributing to him whatsoever. Are we going to be able to kill Varian? We are not. He's going to drop his nuke, dropping a hot load directly in the middle of the battlefield. Big fear from Deathwing, who is not going to be able to get his nuke off. No hot dragon loads. And now we have to try to stop the enemy team from taking our nuke. I don't know if that's possible. Can I hit them? No, I cannot. Was not in range, not in position to make that avalanche happen, so that is unfortunate. And the Medivh shield saving the KTZ from me a third time, directing the sand directly into his booty. Bummer. Now, Unraveling is our level 18 talent, our heroic storm talent. I think that's what they're called. It's been so long. Every 0.25 seconds, enemy heroes slowed by slowing sands have their spell armor reduced by 7 up to 35. Slowing sands persists for 5 seconds after it is canceled, which is insane. So, not only now are we slowing people up to 70%, but we're also reducing their spell armor. And I don't know if you remember or not, but Chromie is a mage, so all of her damage comes from using her abilities. So when people don't have ability armor, they're going to die to our abilities. I know, rough concept to get a hold of, but there you have it. Couple that with the increased spell power that we're getting from literally every fucking... Oh my god, please, just walk away. I just need you to leave. Get away from me. Go away. Stop. Leave. I'm trying to get near my Deathwing, because he's got all the unstoppable and all the health, but I don't want my Zul'jin to be there either. I mean, I don't want him to be there with me. You know, Zul'jin just... He's a target for the enemy team for some reason. Trying to slow down the Kira, can't trap her enough into the slowing sands. She's going to get her grappling hook away, unfortunately. And now we're just putting time traps kind of on the sides here to make sure that the enemy team can't go round the outside. And we've been leyline sealed. Not rooted, though. Not at all. Oh, just not accounting for the extra time on that leyline, huh? This character's stupid, by the way. Just fucking broken. The more and more that I think about it, though, that 16 talent should probably be spell power. The spell power on top of spell power just makes so much more sense. Even though I love the cooldown reduction and I want to be able to just blast people with Qs all the time, you have to make some caveats, I suppose. Anyway, there you have it. That's Chromie. Thank you so much for hanging out. Here is the build again in case you need it. Where is it? We're going to start with Time Walker's Pursuit. Take Chronic Illness at 4. And it is going to make you much more happy with the combo that you're going to use with Slowing Sands. It's really, really good. Time Troubles is also really good, but my team didn't do anything to keep people in my Slowing Sands, so the reduced armor really didn't have as much effectiveness as I wanted it to. Mobius Loop at 7 with that CC and that extra damage real good. Slowing Sands because it's the better of the two ultimates, but you can make a case for Temporal Loop. We've got Timeout at 13, Fast Forward at 16, and then Unraveling at 20. That is going to do it for me. He picked it, but he's only on 160 stacks. I'll see you guys next week. Thank you so much for hanging out. GG's. Peace out.